Morning, everyone.
Morning.
How's everyone? Good? How's QBITS so far? Fantastic, excellent. This morning, afternoon, we're going to touch a bit of Six Sigma. I was familiar with Six Sigma lean concepts in IT, just a bit. Yeah, you want training. Who else? Is the sound okay, by the way? I don't usually speak in the back? Heard a bit? All right. Objectives of the workshop today is, at the end of this workshop, you'll be able to discover what really adds value into your workflows in a different way that you guys see it as a regular performance on a daily basis. So that's one. Second is learn to spot and eliminate process waste. What's process waste? Yep. Say it again. Yep. Unnecessary steps. What else?
Duplicate processes.
Duplicate processes, duplicate information. No value added. That's the new topic of the day. Value added. Wait times. Lots of info. There's 8 major wastes in lean, and we're going to go over from an IT perspective, but also we're going to do a little workshop. You have on each table one process. I took a small process for you guys, which is a new user account creation. We're going to play around, see if we can identify waste in it, and chit chat about it. So I'll present myself. I'm Arnaud Paquet. I'm a senior consultant and associate with Formatec. I'm a lean master black belt, and usually what I do is go in companies, try to find waste, and reduce it to the best. So yeah. Okay, so real title, Lean Master Black Belt, Lean Master Black Belt. Fun fact, I'll take a minute. Lean comes from Japan. It was originated by Toyota after the Second World War. So a lot of terms like Kaizen, yellow belt, green belt, it's not the right class. It's just, since it comes from Toyota, there's references. It's basically the highest you can go with. That's okay with all of us? Yeah. Awesome. Who knows? Who wants to talk about what's value added? Because we hear this term everywhere, a lot of times. What does it mean? Value added. Points people if nobody. Okay, let's jump back. Since you have an awesome cycle running page, I'll go with you, Chris. Value added.
Efficiency and optimization processes.
Okay, efficiency and optimization processes. I like it. What else? What's value added? Is it doing more? It's the steps that brings more value to the end of the process or the product. In terms of quality? Okay. I like this. It resolves problem. I'll do further than that. It reduces waste.
Find the gaps.
Find the gaps. What do we do with the gaps?
Fill in the gaps with the right solutions.
I love that. Fill in the gaps with the right solutions. So, the term value added is not utilized to its full potential. I have a way of saying it's kind of a word that everybody uses and nobody knows what it's exactly. This morning, we're all going to be on the same level because we're going to talk about value added, non-value added, and process value added type of actions. So, value added. If you want to write this down, do, value added are three things. First thing is, the customer cares about it, or is willing to pay for it. Right? If you go on Sunday morning and have breakfast, and you wait and you wait and you wait for your eggs and bacon, do you pay? I see that they're waiting. Technically, yes, but you went in there to eat. Second thing is, it transforms the product or service. So I'm actually touching the product. It's fencing along the line. The product is going in into a positive way in the value chain. It can be physical, it can be a piece of form or touching. And it is done the first time right. This is what value added is. I'm going to give you guys a quick example. I think it's the first example that's engaged to change. I had to undergo a small knee surgery a couple of weeks ago. Woke up at 8 in the morning, went to the hospital, arrived at 9. What's the first thing you do when you get into the hospital and fill the forms? But just before this, they put you in the triage, right? Or have a place with
triage?
Yeah, triage. So triage first step. Go into triage, then you wait. Take your blood pressure, whatever it is. And then they ask you, go sit in the waiting room again. Okay. Fair enough. An hour after, I call for your name. You think you're finding the surgery, but it's just to go to ice cube salon, registering. They give you this card that everybody uses every time. So you do the inscription, and then they're sending you back into the waiting room. It's now 10:30. 10:30 after, my name is called, so I go to the desk and they tell me, your surgery is going to be on the 6th floor, X specific floor. Meet us there. Perfect. I go up, arrive to the 6th floor, next room, and they put this blue baby jumper on. It's really cold and you're tie in the back. Finally, I see the meds. Doctors comes to me, he's like, we're going to be free in 45 minutes. This is how we're going to do the operation, and it's going to go. Perfect. 45 minutes comes, I get in the room. How long took the operation for my knee? Small surgery. About 8 minutes. Was it 15? 15? Have a guess? 3 minutes? And it was 16 minutes and something. Surgery's done. I need to wait an hour just to make sure I'm fine. No issues. I get it. And then I go back home and arrive home at 4 p.m. What's the value added in this process for the customer? Who's the customer? Technically, it's me. I was going there for what? 15 minutes. 15 minutes surgery. All the plus on the side. I was not there to be waiting. Waiting is one of the 8 most common wastes in lean management. And I was really there. The value added to my process that day was only like 3.75% of 100. So that's the notion of added value. How can we spot added value in the process? Where something changes is good. It's beneficial. How do we spot it? Reduction in time. At every step, who's familiar with mapping process, I guess everyone here. at every step of the process, just ask yourself, who's my client? It can be internal or external, by the way, depending on the process you're looking at. If you guys are looking at a ticketing process, client is the user, obviously. If you're looking at a finance process, it might not be the end user, it could be an internal process and an internal. So at every step of the process, you ask yourself, who's my client? And is this adding value to the client user? There is real added value, activities that add value to you guys and the customers. There is process value, and there is non-added value. What's the difference between process value and non-added value? You said? It's not visible to the customer, that's the point, yep.
It's something you have to do.
Who said that? It's something you have to do. You have no choice. Is it adding value to the end line, let's say the end customer? Maybe not, but there's no choice of doing it. And that's the difference between process value and non-value added. Quick example. And I apologize if I'm rude to finances and HR today. But if we look at the scale of any company you guys run, your end customer, for whatever service or product you sell, do they mind if you have an HR department? Do they pay for HR department? Sorry?
Inadvertently, it was part of their process, so it becomes a cost to them.
Yes, it becomes a cost to them, but if I ask your client and I ask, are you willing to pay for HR? They said, no, I buy a product, I buy a service. This is process value. It doesn't bring a direct value to the end client, but it's process value. If you don't have HR finances, you cannot run the business. So keep that in mind when you guys see the process. And then there's non-added value. Non-added value is really, really, really simple. It's all the 8 wastes. The lean management, waiting, motion, overproducing. Questions so far? We're going to see the waste, and then we're going to jump into a quick exercise with the process element. Questions? Good to go? Awesome. 8 lean wastes. Overproduction, unused report or emails. Who's familiar with that? I could also include these in that, if ever. Waiting, approval delays. And if you send your approval by email, and it's a 2-in-1 waste, you might wait a long time to get the approval back. Unnecessary transport. Forwarding tickets multiple times. Just raise your hand if you live or part in a ticket process at the moment. So there's a lot of people. I should have done that. Excess inventory, backlog. Basically, not in a agile way. I'm thinking just backlog overall. Unnecessary motion. We're not connected. I mean, we have 2 systems. I need to look there, I need to look up there. All my information is not centralized. That's a mistake. Defects, reworks, wrong entries, incomplete specs, and underused talents. If your developer is doing basic customer support, then obviously you might be right. So I went over the 8 wastes pretty quick, but we're going to jump into the group activity. The group activity, on each table there's 2 sheets, 2-3 sheets of the process we want to want to look into. This process is a process of user account creation. Simple process, 6 steps. I want every table to work together. There's 3 things to do. First, identify which steps are value added and which are not. Okay? Put yourself in the shoes of who's the client, who's the customer in this situation, and identify VA and NVA. Step number 1. Step number 2, try to find the waste from every step that could be generated. And step number 3, suggest improvements. I'm going to walk around, answer questions, and at the end of the quick session, it's going to be a 7-minute session. We're going to give a feedback from each and every. Good? Enjoy, guys.
With the light, they didn't do the
So the first one is the manager pulls out
Which steps? As I'll give you quick tips, everyone. There's only one step in the process that is added value, or value added, okay? That's the quick tips I gave you. There is 3 minutes remaining, please. 3 minutes. All right, everyone. Let's get back into it. Which table had difficulty spotting value added versus non-value added? Only shot. One here, over there. All good at the end. The question was, which table had an issue spotting VA or NVA? It could be no VA. There's, yeah. There was only one step in the process that was value added, and in the back.
Which one's value added?
No, not yet. But you guys had issue exchanging, debating on which one was VA or non-VA, or was you guys was clear.
We skipped a whole bunch of steps, but
Okay.
there was a lot of chunks in that were non-value added.
There was a lot of things that are not value added.
Yeah, in ours anyways.
Okay, so you know what? Let's start with this table. What we're going to do quickly is, I want you guys to tell me what's the VA or the NVA? Up to you. And what suggestions for improvements did you find or would do in this context?
Mostly for. Look.
Project well so we can hear you.
Okay. So, basically, the customer in the whole journey is the manager, and that they want to be able to bring on a new employee. Sure. So the manager wants to bring on a new employee, and basically in this, what we would want to do is create an application that would make it easy for them to enter in the information of that new employee, and that would automate the process of basically onboarding. It is the premise. So it's fixing the onboarding process so that it's speedier. So a lot of the steps that you take out would be number 2,
Yep.
number 3,
Yep.
number 4,
Yep.
and you'd adjust number 5, that it's not manually, and 6 would be an automatic email sent automation. And the whole process would start off with the manager entering in the information, and if someone needed to approve something of like device, software, or any of that,
Yep.
you would then have it done either that HR does the approval, or it's automatically approved based on what role that person has in the company.
I like it.
So that's the thought.
Which one was the which one was the value added?
That would be created
In this process.
in this process. It would be that the value added is that the manager can basically fill it out fast, and that we save time and eliminate the need of double checking everything.
All right, table 2.
So for us, the value added would be the user confirmation. The
Yep.
process of like manager sends something email to the manager saying the account is converted and these are the credentials. So the manager will have to fall back on the ignition of the process with checking out. And the non-value added goes the form basically that's been sent out to the IT department, which then goes to the manager forwards it, and the technician. So you can basically optimize the whole process with the manager fills out the form, it goes to the HR directly to verify if there's anything that is needed, and then the automated process will be thing or something, the accounts created, automate the email. So basically it comes down to 3 scenarios. The manager fills the form, HR and the account creation that you have.
I like it. Thank you. You guys here?
Alright, so I think we felt that all the steps seem to have a place in them. I think the only value add in there is the account creation. The account, there's the customer at the end of the day here is the end user who just got onboarded.
The only part of the process with added value was the creation of it.
The creation of the account, but the problem with that is it was then manually done. So even that step I had a struggle with because it's manually done.
Absolutely.
But everything else about this, some of the steps even seem to be the cart before the horse. For example, where HR has to approve of something versus HR signed a contract to onboard the person, they should just put it in the system. Managers should have to fill out a form, maybe have default settings based on the department that the person's in, and maybe just say, is there anything else that they need? This is what they're gonna get. Do you need any changes here to advance? Maybe they need software or something like that. So it's a very quick sort of validation by the manager. Say, yeah, this is what I need for my email. HR won't necessarily know that. And the rest of it, the emails, manual email deliveries, all those are wasteful.
They are.
Put this all in the system, automatically created. The only concern I have coming from a security perspective is, when you start to automate processes, there's security that adds friction, right?
It
in the
does.
process, but it's a critical thing, so it goes back to the value add for the organization. organization.
So there's two things. Based on the third point of what is added value, it's being done the first time, I will exclude security out of that. So security is a must. It must be done.
Yes.
It's not because it's secure that it's non-added value. So I will go 100%. It's not because it's secure that it's not on the opposite side.
Yes, well, I see it that way. A lot of people, when I implemented two-factor authentication, everybody in the organization was unhappy about that. There was a Slack channel that I happened to be on that they didn't know I was on. So people saying, how can I bypass this? Anybody can bypass this, right? So it's like,
I mean, it's when you go to the hospital, you need to wash your hands, right?
right.
So up to you to do it or no, but I always suggest, thank you. I'll go ahead, thank you for all the comments. I'm short on time. So the only step in the process with added value was the creation of the account. We had really good suggestions at the table back at the end on how I would redo or get this process better, definitely. A couple of things that we could have done was, instead of paper form, digital request, a couple of things like that. Multiple handoff, automated workflow. See, the question is always to ask you, first off, does this really add value for the customer? And who's the customer? Then, is it value added? Third, should go first, but who's your customer? Really? Who is it? It can be your neighbor, it can be the department after you, it can be the team after you, it can be the external client. Who's your client? If you look at a value chain for a super big process, of course it's going to be the end client. If you look at a process that's internal, it's only probably the next department after you. So this concept is really important to ask. I'll finish.